short video is about StoryMaps, which are a tool for both communicating and sharing ideas with a pretty wide audience. So the goal of our activity today is really going to be to learn what a story map is and to figure out how story maps help us both communicate and then share our ideas. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about communicating and sharing ideas. It's actually a really important piece of science. You can have these great ideas and you can create these great products, but if you don't let the public know, if you don't let other people know about what your ideas are, then they're never going to go anywhere and they won't help anybody. So when we communicate ideas in science and in engineering, it's really in part because we're trying to get across both what we invented and the science behind those inventions, because both of those things are really complex and you just can't see it with the naked eye. So you need some explanation of what is actually going on. So if you think about your bioplastics, you might have this bioplastic product that looks awesome and does exactly what you wanted it to do, but it probably took a little bit to get it there. And putting your bioplastic formulas together are probably pretty complex. So you want to be able to share, like, how did you get to where you ended up? So as you're sharing and communicating your ideas and your results, your public, whoever's watching this communication, is really going to have a better understanding of what your invention was and what you discovered in the process. So in the next few activities, you are going to be sharing the inventions that you created using the bioplastics that you created using a tool called a story map. Ultimately, the story maps that you create are going to be shared on social media using a couple tags. So we're going to use the hashtag bioplastics, the hashtag green chemistry, because as you created your inventions, you were using green chemistry practices. And finally, we're going to tag the Beyond Benign organization, which is a global organization that's kind of dedicated to green chemistry education. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and take a peek at a couple of story maps. The first story map that we're going to look at is a story map that was created by some Casey Middle School students in the spring of 2020. They created a mask out of a bioplastic formula that they also created. So the story map is just a digital tool. And what you're going to do here is we're just going to scroll through. So I'm going to kind of show you some of the key features of their story map. And I've also given you the link to the story map. So if you would like to take a closer look at this and kind of navigate it on your own, you can do that. So we start off with the title here, and then they've got this heading that there are 1.5 billion masks in the ocean, and there's only one biodegradable mask that will keep that number from growing. As you scroll down, they have a great picture that kind of sticks out, this discarded mask, and over here they have a caption that goes with it. So next they go into sort of their research of this. So the girls did some research about what was happening with these discarded masks. And because it's such a problem, they decided that was going to be their invention project, is to try to create a mask out of bioplastics that is biodegradable. As we continue to scroll down, you can see that they have included some of their test results. And then finally, they are sharing a picture of their end product, which is their bioplastic mask. Next, we can see some specifics. So if you want to copy their final procedure, you are able to do this. So we've got the recipe over here as well as the procedure. And then finally, they've kind of finished it off here by explaining that even though it seems like what they did was a small thing, small things can make big differences. The second story map that we're going to take a very brief look at is by Kelly Ward, who is a student at the University of Tennessee. She participated in a competition that ran over the last year that was sponsored by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal Organization, as well as the StoryMap organization. Her story map like I said, was created over the course of the year. So it's quite complex, and she has obviously spent a lot of time on it. If you would really like to dive in a little bit more to it, go ahead and click on the live link that I'm going to share with you. The couple things I want to highlight is just her use of videos in the background, her use of images in the background, and her use of graphics. So she's not using a lot of text. She's really trying to kind of highlight some of the key pieces of information that she wants her audience to focus on. The other thing I want to show you as well is her use of tabs. So story maps, you can make them fairly complex so that you can tackle, a pretty big topic. And so these are kind of like little mini headers. And so I could, click here on microplastics, and it's going to pop down her story map over here and kind of to the middle of it. And I could, look at the stuff that she has on microplastics. Again, she's really using graphics as well. And so that's sort of how she's organized hers in these different kind of subtopics, which is a really nice way to be able to navigate through.